Hey, it's Sam Bearer for Class Winners Collector Vehicles, and as you can see behind me, we just picked up a 1972 Porsche 914. This is going to be a fun one. So we got a call from the owner who said, I've got a 1973 914, it's a 2-liter car, need to sell it, losing my storage. So we said, we're on our way. There are some simple tips and tricks that professionals used to ascertain the value of a car, the status of the car, the condition of the car, and the authenticity. And all it takes is a little bit of Googling, and you can find out oftentimes that people don't represent their cars as they actually are. And it's not always for some nefarious purpose. Sometimes the owners just don't know, and they're just passing on the information they believe to be true. And that's the case with this. Great seller, nice guy. We really enjoyed talking with him, and he thought he had a 914 2-liter from 1973. But let's check and see if that's actually what it is. When we open up the driver's door, we see the sill plate. See that down there? 1171. And the number is 47229-06614. So what that tells us is this is a 1972, and it's not a 2-liter, it's a 1.7 liter. So let's investigate and see if maybe there's a 2-liter engine in the engine bay. And this is where it gets interesting. All 914s were fuel injected, but this car has had carburetors, Webers to be specific, put in replacement of the old fuel injection system. Now that in itself isn't a bad thing, because Weber carburetors are really great, and you can tune an engine to go really fast, make much more horsepower than the original with Weber carburetors. But let's see what engine is in here. Now, if it was a 2-liter engine, we would have serial numbers right down here, and we don't. The 1.8 and 1.7 cars, now, those have numbers right here. And indeed, we do. But underneath all of that filth of leaves and debris, it's a really clean engine. I'll bet you this will clean up really well. So inside, it's actually pretty clean. Yeah, the seat bolsters could use replacement, and we'll go ahead and do that. But overall, this is a pretty clean example that we can work with. Okay, so by far the most important place to look on a 914 when you're determining whether or not it's even worth buying is down here, underneath the battery and along the side of it. Because this is the area lovingly referred to by 914 experts as the hellhole. Why the hellhole? Very, very simple. Battery acid, this is the battery compartment right here, leaks down. And as you can see, in this case, it did leak down and rust this thin metal area down here. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. Way back here, all the way down in the corner, battery acid and water can form in there and rust through into the longitudinals, so the frame, and rust out underneath the sill covers. And next thing you know, your car, it has no chassis stability, and it basically can taco in two. Now in this case, there is a hole on top, but we looked down and put light in there and felt around and went underneath and looked behind the sill cover, and this is as far as it got. So we're in pretty good shape. Most 914s will have this hole here. We can put a piece of metal here and weld that up, but once it goes into the sill and into the longitudinal frame section, well, that's where the suspension mounts up to. And that gets a whole lot costlier and more complicated. So luckily, we can just deal with this. That's not bad at all. You know, there are a million different ways to skin a cat. when it comes to Porsche 914s that haven't been started in a long time and have been collecting dirt and leaves, we could start any number of different places, but while it's on the trailer and it's pretty filthy, I think the best thing for us to do is start with just simply vacuuming all the leaves and blowing out all the leaves and twigs, and then giving it a good wash, because there's nothing worse than working on dirty surfaces, and just that mental lift that you get from a much cleaner car, it makes it so much more fun to work on. So I'm gonna go get the shop vac and start getting out all those leaves. You know, I get questions all the time about what product to use. Should I use a pressure washer? How should I go about cleaning my car? And it just depends on the situation. Now, usually something that needs this much cleaning, a pressure washer might be a good idea and get through it quicker. But my pressure washer is down right now, and if I fix it, I'm gonna have to pressure wash all the walkways at my house. So this is kind of a good reason to just do it by hand with regular hose and just regular, everyday off-the-shelf car wash. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is we're not going for showroom clean. We're going for clean enough to work on in the workshop. So it's just a matter of getting as much as we can before we actually do a really detail wash and get all the paint defects out. Yeah, so which half would you rather have? This is crazy. Ew. Okay, I can't live with these wheels and tires like this. Let's get these cleaned too. Well, is it perfect? No, not by a long shot. Is it show ready? No way. Does it run? We haven't even tried yet. But what we do have now is a 1972 Porsche 914 that is clean enough to go into the class winner's workshop, and we can start doing all those little projects systematically to get this back on the road. And this should be a really fun car. Anybody who has ever driven in one of these knows that it's not about the horsepower. It's not about whether it is a VW or a Porsche or an Audi or whatever you want to call it. It's that it's a mid-engine sports car that took on and beat everything in its class. So let's get it back on the road. It should be fun. Sam Barrett for the Class Winners Workshop. I'll see you inside the workshop with this next time.